You know what, Wade? This Tasha Key and Cardi trial. Let me tell you something. People need to stop being spiteful for no reason. And this, every time you listen to one of the news that come out of the trial, it's just you're just hearing all this spite, and I can literally see why Cardi B would pursue. In particular, this woman, she is very unnecessarily spiteful. It's like she's literally trying to just. She don't care if she win or lose in the court case. I think she thinks it's a win regardless, because how every single thing that come out from the courtroom is, yeah, I know, oh yeah, and it's like, no man, you're disrespectful, and I don't really think that I could do anything. Like I've seen clips and snippets today of people saying, you know, they think it might affect the way YouTube might it's not gonna affect nothing. You don't really care, because that's what does make the money from Bacchanal. Just like how Facebook had to, you know, hide the stuff because they was pushing more Bacchanal. You know what I mean? No, I wouldn't be following this case 100%, but I would be saying things based on after I would have to probably taking some of the videos, but I can't do all because my energy transfer is real, and if I watch too much negativity, I will not be able to function again for the next few months. So Tasha can actually have this heavy energy, and I watched the background between her and like Lovely Tea and could not deal with it. So listening to the news or the views coming out of the case, I could tell you the energy, the everything, however, that she pushes, regardless of if she have fans or not. She heavy. She just heavy. So even if she really loses the case, I probably have to wait to see how it works, because of course in the States, in the US, things are a little bit different. Not really different, but like people tend to call bankruptcy and they get sued and whatever. In the Caribbean, we just let things slide when it's bacchanal, or fight you. My class will fight you, but like we want to let things slide a lot. People that's happy carry to court and all that stuff. So watching this is just it's just like, okay, American people to sue, etc. And it's to see how it was at the end. I can't make no assumptions because I don't know anything about those kind of court cases, especially since more than likely they have to end up bankrupt, with she and her husband. But let me if anybody make a person from the Caribbean have to go and take, and I'm like a true Caribbean, that's somebody who have Caribbean descendants or Caribbean anything, or you don't live in the Caribbean full time, then let's go with that. You don't live in the Caribbean full time, so you won't come to the Caribbean, and you make them have to go and take a test for the world to know my anything status. I will be pissed as hell as a person to have to reveal my anything, or have to get forced to go and take a test, even if I know it's BS or whatever. This court case is drastic. It is drastic, and you can literally hear the gobar from Tasha Key, where she literally spitefully says things, and she basically proving Cardi be correct. No, I think that she thought that if she had transferred all her stuff into her husband's name, that they can't come for her. So what I holistically believe, especially from hearing one or two of the videos, I couldn't listen to plenty, is that more than likely, even if they call bankruptcy and the whole IRS thing allegedly, because you know the man thing, I don't know whether you come around me either. It's an alleged IRS thing. Even if she loses the case and they call for bankruptcy, or they say that no money or anything, she has money, so they can sue she husband. I don't know why they think that she can come back around and sue Cardi can come back around and sue the husband for all this stuff, and then they want to transfer everything back across into Tasha name, if you know what I mean. So more than likely she would have transferred everything to her husband name. I don't know if she had an aunt or uncle or auntie or cousin or whatever. I would have transferred those things into that person name, who would have been like, I'm not wrong, so I don't know. Compared to her husband who living in the same house. You know what I mean? Where, you know, as the owner or the president or the CEO or whatever he said that he is of the company. Like, I have this employee, she just happened to be a woman, she just told the son. You know what I mean? So she just listen like when I tell her to do something or whatever the case is. And in that case, in any job, you had to fire the person, point blank period. But because she is the one who is controlling the narrative of the rollouts of the information and all that, and I hope that they get her on her Patreon, because let me tell you, she Patreon does have a real bacchanal. And yes, this is from people who have watched her channels and stuff, not me. Big man thing. I just watch the bacchanal, not the channel. And it's not nothing to do with her, whatever, not liking her, anything. It's just I have a certain type of content that I would listen to naturally, where it is, I'll probably put that in the next video, the type of content that I would actually go to and listen to, and you will be surprised of the dynamics of the way. I just blew up something. But yeah, you'll be surprised of the dynamics of how the variety of the things that I listen to, from music to the types of things that I look at, to the things that I watch, and I will put those in videos over time. But yes, that was my slight stray. I think that she needed to, I think that her husband got coaching, and I think that she also got coaching to make it seem like, you know, she is unhinged as an employee or whatever. He couldn't do anything. So even if they take away everything, they would assume that they wouldn't have to deal with IRS after, because they were going to bankruptcy and not have to pay IRS, etc., etc., etc. But I also heard that those alleged IRS people would have allegedly be in court and all of that stuff, and they would have allegedly been paying taxes, allegedly. And with all of that, going back to the whole Cardi aspect, when I heard that Cardi cried in court, basically crying again, because I know she would have been bothered. At the end of the day, people say that she, you know, she's 25, she's a big woman, so she would not be taking on none of the things that she didn't say because she have money. And just anyways, Tasha K, she have money for a therapist, so she could pay for it and deal with her. Cardi is a soft heart, regardless of how rough she is. The reason she had a kind of roughness or a kind of wildness is to literally deflect on the little bit of madness, right? And according to the fact that, according to how close she was pregnant, right? She was pregnant, I think she was pregnant, or she had already made a child, and the fact that people were just like bullying up on purpose and stuff, and then she was in the battle with Nikki and all that stuff. Listen, I could see where she would have been emotionally drained, and she would have also be so feisty where she would have believed that she needed to answer everybody, and like, you know, to show that she's not a punk, you know what I mean? And that is where I think she would have also have some of her drainage happening. So now, when she more seasoned in not responding and reflecting to everybody, she's responding the way she's supposed to respond. And I think even if she didn't, let me just assume in this moment that she didn't have she didn't have the tears that she said that she have now back then, I would have done the same thing. Like, I learned that you don't play strong for nobody. I'll also put that in the next video, but whatever. You don't play strong for nobody. You let people see you be vulnerable and weak. Because when you're strong, people don't look out for you. When you're strong and you say, no, I can deal with it and the same thing like what Tasha was allowed to turn and say, basically, that she have money, she have therapy, and she can deal with it. That's the same thing. But people will basically tell you, when you're strong and you can stand for yourself and think, no, cry and feel the pain and go through your emotions and let people know that it hurt you. Even if you know when you go back home, you can watch yourself and laugh and say, yes, I had to let them know that I struggle, or whatever the case is. Because if you ever deal with people who have nothing to lose, or who have less to lose than you, trust me, you're going to know why she cry. And I literally went through that, dealing with people who have less to lose and saying and laughing and thing and saying, what you gonna do, you call police and tell the police and them that this and that and yet. Like, I went through that, and I, with my small self, had police surrounding me, and if it's just small, like a chinky. And I went through that where people would lie, and then when the police come, they're laughing in your face and saying, ha 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 ha, and you had to take it because you can't do certain things you can't do, because you had to worry about, if you had to go to court, you could lose your work. If you had to go to, if you had to do anything to do the run around for court, you had to talk to lawyers, you had to do blah, 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 blah. Once you're running through court, sometimes your job and thing doesn't want to let you go. So it's like, I had to think about the fact that I could lose my job, or pursue going behind these people who basically going out of the way to make my life hell. And it was a year in court, as well, a year in court, for something that had nothing to do with me, just because somebody wanted to steal it from me, and I refused to let them get it. But because of the fact that I was working, and the people in them was pretending to not work, they were working, but they was pretending not to, the courts and the police and everybody would have taken their side up front, because the fact that they had kids, and they literally said, you know, I'm a children, and literally pretending, and then going and laughing after and be like, haha, call police on a hat, you got to court, haha, like stuff like that. That is a stressor in itself. So I can see why Cardi B would not want to hold back on any of their emotions, because if I was allowed to cry, I would have been crying the same way if I was allowed to, but I couldn't, because I had to be strong for myself to be able to function in my everyday life. So the second set of charges in that case, I would have had to drop as well. But that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. Sometimes you just had to let go the case to not deal with the emotional distress. I will talk about that in the next case with Nicki Minaj and Jennifer when I do another video. So yeah, with this was my stray, and I will label it stray. So if you want to skip over it, I'll let people skip over it. So in that case, I can't wait to see the end results. I don't want to predict it, but I holistically believe that I do think that there would be a moment where they would have to go back into getting the video from Cardi talking about these stuff with the men. I don't want to say what it is, but yeah, those things with the men. or whatever, and see whether or not it's still admissible, because I think they threw out the possibility of it being used, but I think they was able to bring it back in with the last set of discussions. It seemed like they could put back in that video, based on trying to prove what she said was wrong. However, those videos, regardless, never said anything about her having the H word or anything like that. So it should not be admissible, because it have nothing to do with the reason for why somebody would say that somebody's blood is untidy or sick or have any kind of diseases, etc., 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 and be okay with it. So like her saying she could use it, her possibly thinking that she could use it as evidence, it still wouldn't help the case, because it does not have anything to, me hitting somebody across their beam, I don't want to say it the way I want to say it, wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that you spread the rumor on me saying that I have H. You know what I mean? Like, how violence, I'm not using violence related because it's not violence, is, you know, the RUG, getting someone, has anything to do with the fact that I was a stripper, or I was a, anything to do with sex, but opposite sex, whatever, anything to do with sex and my sex life, or my husband's sex life, or anything like that. What I have to do with, you know, me having that, and me being past violent, or whatever the case is. Okay, I explained that horribly, because I don't want to say it. What the possibility of her being a drug gang individual have to do with her having HPs, and you spreading your rumor, like if I turn and say that I have HPs and I have been drugging people and, you know, are in them or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, that is what she make it sound like, regardless. You know what I mean? And she didn't back down, So that's why I'm waiting to see how it turns out to be, and I would like to see what they decide to take, if she decides to start over from scratch, because I know YouTube could basically like close off her channel. She could probably try and start the next one, but I've heard on other platforms and other things where YouTube will shut your channel down, and if you try to start the next one and they realize you could just trace the IP address or something like that, and they will see that it's you trying to find back up, and they will block you from being able to start the next channel, or do anything or post anything on your channel. And unless it's like a golden child or something like that for YouTube, where you just bring views and they literally the baby, which, I mean, she's not asking no one, she's not gonna get that kind of privilege. So yeah, it's just a way to see how the end of this goes. It's just a way to see how the trial ends, what she could possibly have to pay in the end, regardless, because I think whether or not when we will draw, she still have to pay money for the lawyers, etc. We will wait to see what on the alleged IRS aspect of things, tax evasion stuff, comes up after. We will wait to see if she continues using that, using Cardi name or whatever, or if the judges on the internet are, hey, they can't use your name again, you know, however the hell that does go down in court, for them to be able to continue using her name, or to use her name for non-derogatory things or something like that, or where she can use the name, like if it's just not YouTube only, because she does literally carry the plug for her Patreon. I've seen that just trying to get receipts on somebody, I can't remember because it was so long ago, where I would have seen her trying to get evidence on somebody on paper undocumented. Probably was the same Cardi B with some documents stating whatever, like just assume it's Cardi, where she would have had the documents stating that this person's sick or this person, anything like that, and say go across to my Patreon. That I remember that particularly. I think one of the times she was calling in the corner, the Trinidadian jail. That is what it was. But it wasn't her that she had to do the stuff on, but I think that's how I ended up seeing, you know, that I see who and realize who that was and all that thing. So, but yeah, forget that. She basically, I would like to see the ending, and stay tuned for us to discuss the outcome of what happens to her in the end, and if she gets to open back a new channel, or if she has to start from scratch, change the company name, if she is allowed to, let me just say she's bankrupt, and then, because I know once you had to pay, because in the eyes of her 50 cents and Tiara Mary, whether or not she had the money, she still had to find a way, or still have to find a way to give him his money eventually, and it could be allowed to increase. So even if people say it's millions, even if it's not millions, it's still money, and she would have to pay the lawyers or whatever for however long the case gets pushed back too. So she would have to pay for Cardi B lawyers, more than likely she would have to pay for her lawyers, she would have to pay for whatever she had to pay for when it comes to you know, the payment. And if they shut down the production or shut down the business and stuff, I could see them trying to start a new business venture, and I could see them having to pay through the new business venture as well. And then the IRS. You know what I mean? So it's just looking to see. It's a lot to digest, and I can't really put things in words the best way, because, you know, look how much I just listen to back and go, So yeah. you like this video and you want to hear us discuss it a little bit more, leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you want to hear, what else you want to have a discussion about, and what else would you like to see from me on this channel. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos from me on YouTube. We will get more into related topics. Also, click on the links in my bio description and follow me on other platforms as well. Thank you as always for watching. I am Kwazri and I will see you in my next video.